Hi, I'm Carly Morgan from theweddingatlas.com, and I'm here with some tips to help you as you think about advertising for your wedding business. I myself am not a wedding vendor, but I've been a wedding blogger for the last 5 years, and I've seen how brides are finding the vendors and what exactly brides are looking for, and I've also been in a good position to see what other wedding vendors are doing to market their business and what's really worked for them. When you're working with bloggers to help advertise your wedding business, the first thing that you want to do is you want to familiarize yourself with the wedding blogs that are out there and then try to identify the best blogs for you. There are a lot of wedding blogs out there, and some of them are huge, huge blogs that get thousands, if not millions, of readers. And it can be tempting to really only target those really large blogs and try to submit to them, get your name out there to them, contact them. Now the problem with that is that a lot of wedding vendors are having the same idea, and these blogs are getting overwhelmed with submissions. So it's not that you shouldn't submit to those blogs, but you should keep in mind that some of them have very strict submission guidelines in an attempt to sort of, cut down the chaos. And then a lot of them just might not be able to work with you because there are so many different wedding vendors competing for their attention, and they might be going in another direction. So even though you should submit to the larger blogs if that's what you're hoping for, you should also look around. Look for smaller blogs that fit your style, smaller blogs that are working in your location, especially if you're interested in getting a lot of local business, and then blogs that have a niche angle that you think might fit you. For example, as part of the Wedding Atlas, I have a blog that's devoted just to Disney weddings, and I've been writing on that blog for quite a long time. And the photographers that I work with, many of whom I've now worked with for years, are photographers who are really focusing on making Disney weddings a substantial part of their wedding business. And so these photographers have been able to use my blog and the fact that all of my readers are having Disney weddings to really target that audience and be able to send photos out and advertisements out towards this audience that is exactly who they want to work with, instead of just tossing out an advertisement to brides in general and hoping that a few of them sort of fit the client ideal. When you're looking at a blog, look for the submission guidelines before you just drop the blogger an email. I probably get 20 to 30 emails a day that just ask for my submission link, which I can then provide. But it does sort of hit me sometimes, especially if I get overwhelmed and then I have to go through, and it can be a little irritating to give this information to vendors when I feel like the submission guidelines are already there, and if they had just looked a little bit harder, they would have found them. So that will speak to bloggers. You have to remember that you want to make a good first impression. I'm not saying that that is a make or break as to whether or not I'll work with somebody, but I am saying that I notice. So if you're trying to work with a blogger that you don't know very well, that's something to keep in mind. Just be as considerate as possible. Once you followed or you found the submission guidelines, try to follow them. Submit however they would like you to, because often if you don't want to jump through their hoops and you just feel like emailing images, if they've put submission guidelines out there, that's going to be the only way that they accept images. Once you've contacted bloggers, once you've sent in a submission, if you don't hear anything back, I would say wait a week, but then go ahead and drop them an email, submit again if you want to, because you want to make sure that they saw your submission. And most bloggers, who often just get buried in email and get wrapped up and don't get back to everybody, are happy that you have bumped your submission, and they'll be happy to let you know that yes, I received your email and it's there. And once you've heard from them, don't hound them about when they're going to put it up. Just know that you've gotten a response, that they have your information, and then hope that they will post your wedding soon. It's also a good idea to keep on that blog as far as watching it as a reader, so that you see your work when it does get published. Some bloggers, most bloggers, I think, do make an effort to contact the photographers and the other wedding vendors when a wedding goes up, but bloggers get busy, things get lost in the shuffle, and you don't want to miss this wedding that you've submitted, because you want to be able to let your clients know, in your own blog or on your Twitter or on Facebook, that you've been showcased on this blog, which is a nice little boost to say that other people wanted to show off your work because it's that nice. And then I would say just keep in contact. Respond to the comments that are left on blog posts and these blogs that have your work in them, because the readers are going to notice if you're getting back to them. It's a nice way to let them know that, you know, you're out there and you're being responsive, you're very interested in working with brides. And if you keep submitting, keep commenting, you know, keep in touch with bloggers, most of the time, I know that personally for vendors that I feel like have really made the effort to get to know me and to stay in contact, and who I feel like are being very supportive of my blog and what I'm doing, I've cut them deals as far as ads. I am more likely to post their work when it's submitted to me. I you know, try to help them because I want those businesses to succeed, because they've become friendly vendors for me, and I really want to see good things happen for them. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're working with bloggers.